Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Richard, and welcome back to another stock market outlook video sponsored by MarketSmith. As always, we're going to run through the major indexes, mega cap stocks, stocks I'm watching very closely, and at the very end of the video, I'll give you my take on the overall health of the market. As always, if you do enjoy my analysis, please go ahead and take the time and leave me a like down below. It helps me out immensely, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the market down below in the comment section as well. So answer this question right now before I go through anything. What do you think about the current state of market conditions? So I'll give you just a few seconds here to write that down right here, as well as to leave a like down below. And now let's dive right in. So first things first, looking at the Nasdaq Composite on a daily chart, we are still kind of within this range here. We pushed up strongly on this Friday. Let me draw in the top of this range here, right there. And you can see we had a very strong day ending right near the highs on a pickup in volume. And we'll have to see whether we can fall through here. We are still below a declining 21 EMA. That's this purple line right here. And we'll have to see whether that area becomes resistance. But I'd love to see fall through on this bar, but we'll have to see what happens. We have to stay open-minded. We're still below a declining 50-day and 200-day as well. So the longer-term context has not changed one bit. And even though that the indexes had a pretty strong day on Friday, we're still not seeing that breadth in market leadership that we really need to see to, have a sustainable rally. And maybe that develops over the next few days and weeks, but in my opinion, we're just not there just yet. So there's a good start on Friday, but we're still below the key moving averages and within this range even, and below the 21 EMA. So there's nothing yet to be super excited about, but it is something that, you should pay attention to and be a little bit more ready with your watch list and, be able to pick your spots if the strength continues and conditions improve as well. Looking at a 60-minute chart, you can see the strong push to end out last week. This is the top of the range here that we saw on the daily chart, and we were rejected on that right at the end of the last day here on Friday. So we'll have to see whether we basically get rejected down from, maybe pull back to this area. And I'd love to see in higher low form and for it to hold and then push through. I think that'd be awesome, but we'll have to see what happens going to a weekly chart. Once again, the longer term context has not changed. We're still below a longer term declining 40-week moving average, as we've been basically for the past year and more. So that is the Nasdaq. Looking at the S&P 500, definitely a lot stronger, potentially forming out a higher low, a little bit stronger on Friday as well, breaking through these highs, back above the 21 EMA, which is still declining here. The 50 SMA, we're just below it, and that is increasing, but we remain below a declining 200-day moving average. So we'll have to see how it reacts to that level as we reach that. And you can see in the past, this has been an area of resistance here and here most recently. So good initial steps on Friday, but we'll have to see if that strength continues and if market leadership increases as well. Moving on to the IWM. This also pushed higher on Friday, back above the 21 EMA, but we're still below the 50 SMA and 200 SMA. Looking at the IWO, you can see that very similarly, we're above the 21 EMA, but still below those longer term moving averages. Looking at the FFTY, this remains in a longer term downtrend and still has yet to rally to that 21 EMA. And looking at ARC, you can see that very similarly still below that 21 EMA. So in terms of those ETFs, initial strength on Friday, and we're pushing that high of that short-term range that we've been kind of chopping back and forth in over the past 2 weeks or so. And we'll have to see if that strength continues early next week and if leadership develops even more. Moving on to some mega caps, let's start with Tesla here. You can see that we remain below the 21 EMA, 50 SMA, just in a strong downtrend. Some signs of a short-term consolidation happening here. Nice action on Friday, especially. Looks like an outside day here. Our rating is only a 4, but we were so kind of oversold from the 50 and 21 EMA. Some type of pause was going to happen at some point, and we'll have to see whether this is the bottom. No one knows, or if it was resolved basically to the upside or the downside. So if you're looking to short a continuation pattern, obviously the most ideal entries were as it broke these lows, but I know some people are kind of actively trading this. So if it rallies into the 21 EMA, rebounds off of that, you could use that lower high as a nice spot to manage risk against, as that 21 EMA kind of catches up to price as it pushes toward that level and rebounds down from that spot. So that is Tesla. Moving on to Apple. This, once again, nice action on Friday, but we're below all the key moving averages. Not much to say here. Moving on to Google. This looks very similar, rejected at that 21 EMA recently, but nice action on Friday, upside reversal after undercutting these lows. So potential fall through early next week. Looking at Microsoft, this also got hit pretty hard and then rallied on Friday, still below all the key moving averages. Not too much to say here. Looking at Meta, this is acting the best out of any of them. You can see that we've rallied strongly since this gap down, but we're right against this kind of potential resistance level near this area right here, but we're above the 21 and 50 SMA, although we remain in a longer term downtrend. So Meta looks a little bit better in the short term, but we're at a potential spot where we could rebound downwards, and we'll have to see whether we hold above that 21 EMA or not. Looking at Netflix, this also is above the key moving averages, also above the 200-day moving average because it's been consolidating a little bit longer, and we'll have to see whether it can push through the 305 to 310 level and potentially start a new stage 2 uptrend. Also looking at a few chip names, NVIDIA, you can see below the key moving averages, but potentially forming out a range here. And once again, we'll have to see whether it can fall through to the upside through 150 as well as at 21 EMA. So in terms of the mega caps, these are kind of holding the whole market back, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. These are pretty oversold, but they are in downtrends. There are a few spots of strength. ELF has been super strong, holding that 21 EMA. Nice action on Friday, breaking through the short-term resistance level on a pickup in volume. This is hitting all-time highs. Also, VRNA is another name I'm watching, acting super strong. So there are names that are kind of bucking the overall trend. And a great scan just right now is above a rising 21 EMA and also within 10% of all-time highs. That should bring up some great opportunities. So overall, in terms of market conditions, I think we did see some strength on Friday, but we're just not seeing the leadership just yet where, we can really see a sustainable rally. Maybe that changes, and that could change very quickly. But at this point, I'm not going to be pushing the gas on every opportunity, just picking my spots very carefully. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in future videos. Take care.